you mentioned the logistical challenges about flying planes to Ukraine through contested airspace. Why can't the United States put those planes on trains or automobiles? I guess, are we really to believe that when we're sending or preparing to send billions in aid, that, this is the logistical bottleneck that is stopping us from getting them those planes?
Well, it is a serious logistical bottleneck, right? Obviously, there's obvious concerns that the Department of Defense has spoken to about flying planes from U.S. air bases, right? That they spoke to yesterday. These planes, carting them down the street, I think, is not as easy as you may think it is. Planes, if they have to be taken apart and put back together, you have to have people who are able to put those planes back together. You have to ensure that they can be safely moved through the course of a contested country, or not, a country where there is a war going on with the Russians, who implemented that war. So there are a range of logistical, operational challenges. Those are important conversations to happen between military experts and our Defense Department, leaders and officials, Secretary Austin, Chairman Milley, and their counterparts.
And then should we expect that the U.S. Export-Import Bank is going to continue to underwrite loans that would support commerce with Russian companies and corporations, given the tranche of sanctions that we've seen against?
I would have to check and see how these sanctions are implemented. Obviously, we're going to abide by all of our own sanctions, and we've tried to implement them as quickly as possible, but I can see if there's any specific impact on them. Go ahead.
So John Kirby's line is that transferring the planes, or the latest iteration, was not tenable. Are you saying, is what's not tenable the arming of the Ukrainians with jet fighters, or is it merely the logistical things you're speaking to?
I think the Defense Department spoke primarily to this, and they were very specific, Jeff. They said fighter jets manned by Americans departing a NATO base to fly into airspace contested with Russia raises serious concerns for the United States and for the NATO alliance. We have provided $1 billion in military assistance. I would say the $350 billion that was announced just less than 2 weeks ago, I believe the Defense Department has conveyed almost all of that has been delivered. We have not held back on providing weapons, anti-missile systems, tank systems at all at any point in this process. But there are important operational logistics concerns here and steps, conversations that should happen between military experts, and that's exactly what's happening.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quicktake now for insight in an instant.